Hi, I'm HC. For weekly videos on self-knowledge and self-discovery, like this video and hit the subscribe button. Here are the 5 steps on how to be assertive. Step 1. Accept. In this context, to accept means to come to terms with what you are dealing with, and to avoid imagining that it is something that it is not. We tend to want to avoid confrontation and transform events and situations into distant memories by ignoring them, in hopes that they will go away. However, only once we accept that we are dealing with these issues can we eventually grow and move past them. For example, let's say you are dealing with a bully at school or at work. In this scenario, you are bound to eventually run into them. By choosing to run away and avoid, you are likely to continue to exist in a perpetual state of fear and anxiety. Accepting is coming to terms with the situation that you are dealing with, and to understand that if you do not face your reality in some way, you will likely never find peace. To accept is to face your issue for what it is, because only once you challenge what you are dealing with can you eventually take the steps necessary to overcome it. Step 2. Abandon fear. Always remember, your mind is capable of creating worlds that you have never been. Avoid using that power to create worry, pain, and despair. To abandon fear in this context is to let go of the presumption that something bad or negative will happen if you choose to stand up for yourself. Consider that, just as much as a perceived negative can come to be, a positive situation can equally be birthed. Abandoning fear will help with being more assertive because it is accepting that although danger can be very real, fear only lives in the mind. With this knowledge, you can be relieved in understanding that being assertive won't necessarily make you more hated, disliked, or a bad person. Rather, it is simply the process of opening up a new world at your horizon. Always remember, when it comes to fear, for the most part, you wanted it to be true, so you decided it was. In most cases, you are so used to living in fear and not speaking up for yourself that you have grown to become comfortable and even started to believe that that person that you created in response to your fears is really who you are. Abandon fear. Stop trying to preserve who you were and become who you are. Step 3. Respect yourself. Being assertive shows that you respect yourself because you're willing to stand up for your interests and express your thoughts and feelings. Thus, because respecting yourself inspires standing your ground, reciprocally, it will likely support and encourage assertiveness. We often don't stand our ground or hold to assertiveness because we don't believe that what we have to say is important enough or important at all. We tend to feel like maybe it will just be best if we just let things happen and possibly they will just work out. But as said by hip-hop mogul Jay-Z, don't go with the flow, be the flow. To respect yourself in this context is to appreciate that you have a voice too. It is to appreciate that you are important simply because you exist, and that you deserve the space that you occupy. Self-respect will encourage assertiveness because it is recognizing that you can have your own thoughts, opinions, and ideas, and they do not have to be in line with or march in tandem with what is popular at the time. Step 4. Hold yourself accountable. To be accountable in this context is to recognize the flaws in your own character so that you are able to consciously take actions to make those flaws obsolete. Accountability is looking yourself in the mirror and accepting that every decision that you have ever made, every option that you have ever taken, and every action that you have ever committed has brought you to this point. And to sincerely ask yourself, is this truly where you want to be? Is this truly who you want to be in this life? It is challenging yourself by asking yourself questions such as, is the person in the mirror the person that you see yourself as on the inside? Have you become the person that you know that you can be? Once you are aware of these things that are causing you to be less assertive or to not stand up for yourself, you will be able to do the inner work necessary to change that reality. The process of holding yourself accountable is putting elements in evidence, because when you are able to recognize what you want to change, you are able to take the steps necessary to change them. Think of this like being in a room with a loud fly that keeps flying around. Although you are equipped with a fly swatter, you are unable to swat the fly because you do not see the fly. It is not in evidence. Being accountable is the process of taking off the blindfold so that you can see exactly what you are dealing with and go about taking the actions necessary to deal with the issue. By holding yourself accountable, you are making yourself conscious to not repeat the same things that brought you to that point in the first place. An accountable person can be assertive because they are able to practice discernment and recognize when things are not going in their favor and why, and thus have the capability to commit change when need be, because they are already familiar with the outcome of things if they do not. When you are not afraid to hold yourself accountable for the things you say and do, the worry of standing your ground will vastly be diminished. Hold yourself accountable and take each new challenge in life as a new opportunity to grow. Step 5. Be honest. Being honest will help with assertiveness because your truth will be your truth, and when you choose to live in your truth, you avoid being distracted or consumed by elements that are not in harmony with it. Being honest is a key to assertiveness because it is being comfortable with saying and being who you are, and accepting the challenge that comes with living in that truth. When you are honest, you are able to speak with conviction, and thus trust the outcome of your words and your action. This trust is developed because you are at peace with what is, and unafraid of what will be as a result. Think of this like an equation. If your input is honest and true to you, what comes out as a result will likely be the reality that is congruent with that input, whether you are able to appreciate that output in that time or not. To be assertive is to have the courage and confidence to stand your ground and speak up for yourself. Knowing how to be assertive will help you put action to your thoughts and manifest your truth hidden within, independent of the opinions and systems operating around you. This is why knowing how to be assertive is such an important factor on the journey of you becoming your best you. Thank you for watching this video until the end. You are appreciated. Like and share this video, and consider subscribing if you haven't already. I'll see you here next time on Howell Consultations, the how-to being true to you.